All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive on silicon-graphene batteries.
Yeah.
I was really intrigued by that Matt Farrell video, the undecided one that you sent over, especially the fact that the U.S. military is, really heavily investing in this.
Right.
And not for some super weapon or anything.
Yeah.
It's for the gear that soldiers are carrying every day.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't it? I mean, it's like a mundane application, but could have huge implications.
Yeah, totally makes you wonder, what's so revolutionary about these things?
Exactly.
The military is like, all right, we got to get in on this, right now.
Yeah, I think to appreciate why these batteries are such a big deal, you got to kind of understand the problem that they're trying to solve.
Okay.
So imagine a soldier out in the field carrying over 100 pounds of gear.
Wow.
And then up to 20 pounds of that being just batteries.
Oh my God.
For all their equipment.
That's more than my carry-on suitcase when I travel.
Right. So it's a huge strain on them physically.
Yeah.
Logistically.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And as Farrell points out, the U.S. military is heavily reliant on lithium-ion batteries.
Right.
And you know who dominates that market?
China.
China.
Yeah.
So there's a geopolitical risk there as well.
Ah, so this is kind of a two birds, one stone thing then. It's
Right.
Lighten the load for the soldiers, but also we're not reliant on, a potential adversary for this crucial technology.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me about this silicon oxide graphene battery, this SOG battery that Nanograph is developing.
Yeah.
Farrell was mentioning some pretty impressive improvements, like 15% lighter,
Right.
15% longer lasting.
Yep.
Those numbers sound small, but I'm guessing they translate to big benefits, when you're out there on the ground.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, for a soldier, those percentages could mean the difference between mission success and failure.
Wow.
Or even life and death, potentially.
Yeah.
Less weight means they can be more agile. They've got more endurance. And then the longer lasting batteries means less resupply missions, less exposure to danger.
Yeah.
And then plus, you can imagine if they're operating silently in enemy territory, they don't need to have a noisy generator.
Oh, right.
For power.
Okay, now you're talking my language. I'm getting it.
Yeah.
But I got to admit, the science behind these SOG batteries, it sounds a little like Star Trek to me.
It does sound very futuristic.
Can you break it down for me? How do they actually work?
So the underlying principles are actually just an evolution of what's already in your smartphone, probably.
Okay.
The lithium-ion battery.
Got it.
So to understand kind of the magic of SOG batteries, let's just start with the basics of lithium-ion technology.
Okay, perfect. I always appreciate a good foundation before we, build the skyscraper, so to speak.
Uh-huh. I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So in a lithium-ion battery, you have what's called an anode.
Okay.
And that's basically a sheet of graphite with a bunch of tiny cubby holes.
Okay.
That store lithium ions.
I got you.
So you can kind of think about it like a parking garage for energy.
Okay, that's a good visual.
Yeah.
So where does the silicon come in?
So silicon is like graphite.
Okay.
But it has way more parking spaces.
Okay.
It can actually hold up to 24 times more lithium than graphite.
Wait, 24 times?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a lot.
I'm already picturing my phone lasting a week on a single charge.
Right.
Why aren't all batteries made with silicon then? There's got to be a catch.
You're sharp. There is a catch.
Okay.
Silicon has this tendency to swell and warp when it absorbs lithium. It's kind of like a sponge expanding when it soaks up water.
Okay.
And this expansion can actually damage the battery and cause it to degrade really quickly.
So it's powerful, but a little temperamental.
Yeah, exactly.
And so this is where the graphene comes in to save the day.
Graphene is this amazing material.
Yeah.
It's stronger than steel. It's incredibly thin, and it's an amazing conductor of electricity.
Wow.
Matt Farrell calls it a superhighway for electrons.
Okay.
And he's not exaggerating.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So the graphene just helps move those lithium ions around faster? Is that it?
Not quite.
Okay.
So while graphene is a great conductor, it's not the best at actually storing the lithium.
Got it.
So that's where Nanograph's innovation comes in.
Yeah.
They've created a sort of graphene scaffolding that surrounds and stabilizes the silicon. So you can kind of picture it like the framework of a skyscraper.
Okay.
The silicon provides the muscle, the ability to hold all that energy, and the graphene provides the bones, keeping everything structurally sound.
That's a great way to visualize it.
Yeah.
So it's like the best of both worlds. You get the silicon's high capacity.
Right.
But you also get the graphene stability and conductivity.
Exactly.
Okay. I got to ask the million-dollar question, though.
Yeah.
If these SOG batteries are so amazing, why aren't they powering everything already?
That's a good question.
What's the holdup?
Well, the biggest hurdle right now is producing high-quality graphene.
Okay. At the scale needed for mass production.
So it's like easy to create small flakes of it.
Yeah.
But to do it on a massive level is a whole other...
Yeah, it's a much more complex process.
Got it.
An expensive process.
So that's probably where the military comes in.
Yeah.
They've got the resources to be those early adopters.
Right.
And, maybe drive those costs down for the rest of us eventually.
Exactly. They're essentially de-risking the technology and paving the way for wider adoption.
Yeah.
So to get a clearer picture of how these SOG batteries actually stack up against the traditional lithium-ion batteries, let's look at this comparison chart.
Okay, yeah, let's bring in the visuals.
From Pharrell's video.
I love a good side-by-side comparison.
As you can see, SOG batteries, they boast a higher energy density, faster charging speeds, and lighter weight.
Yeah.
All game-changing advantages.
Right.
But even with these advantages, it's important to remember that we're still early on.
With this technology, there's challenges to overcome, and mass adoption is still probably a few years away.
Right, that graphene production issue.
Yeah.
It's like the gremlin in the works.
Yeah.
But even in these early stages, the potential implications, are pretty mind-blowing, would you say?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Imagine if cost were no object.
Now, that's a fascinating thought experiment.
Yeah.
What applications of SOG batteries would you find most exciting or transformative if cost wasn't a barrier?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities, but I think my mind goes straight to electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Like lighter, more powerful batteries would be a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
For EVs, no more range anxiety.
Right.
Road trips wouldn't involve hours-long charging stops.
You're hitting on a major point there. Wider EV adoption would, significantly reduce our dependence on fossil fuels.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Huge win for the environment.
Right. And it's not just cars.
Yeah.
Think about electric planes, ships, maybe even long-haul electric trucks.
Right.
All powered by these super efficient batteries.
Yeah.
We could be looking at a totally different transportation landscape.
It's a tantalizing prospect.
It is.
But the impact goes far beyond transportation, too.
Okay.
Think about portable electronics.
Okay.
Imagine your phone lasting for days.
Hold on. Are you telling me my phone could last for days on a single charge?
On a single charge, or laptops so thin and light they feel like a notepad.
Wow.
But can still run for hours without needing to be plugged in.
Okay, you've officially sold me on the future powered by SOG batteries.
I'm glad to hear it.
That would change everything. No more frantically searching for outlets at the airport.
Yeah, no more of that.
That's the worst.
But it's not just about convenience either.
Okay.
This technology could have a profound impact on renewable energy storage as well.
Oh.
So if we can efficiently store the energy that's generated from solar and wind power,
Right.
it makes those sources much more reliable.
Makes sense.
And practical on a larger scale.
So we're talking like a fundamental shift in how we produce and consume energy.
Yeah.
It's like we're on the cusp of an energy revolution here.
I think that's a good way to put it.
It's crazy.
And it all comes down to these tiny, powerful batteries.
It's amazing how something so small
can
have such a massive ripple effect.
It really, that's the beauty of innovation, I guess.
Yeah.
It often starts with a simple idea.
Right.
That has the potential to change everything.
And in this case, it's not just an idea.
Yeah.
Nanograph is building these things.
Right.
And the military's putting them through their paces out in the field. This is...
real world conditions.
Yeah, this is actually happening.
It's not science fiction anymore.
Exactly. That's what's so exciting about it.
Yeah, we're seeing this technology move from the lab to the field.
Yeah.
And if it proves successful there, it's only a matter of time before it reaches the consumer market.
I'm already putting Silicon-Graphene battery on my, Christmas list or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully sooner than that.
Yeah, right. Knowing my luck, it'll be like a stocking stuffer in 10 years.
Haha. Yeah, but you bring up an important point about the timeline. We need to remember that this technology is still in its early stages.
Right.
There's hurdles to overcome, particularly when it comes to scaling up production and bringing those costs down.
Right. That graphene production challenge keeps rearing its ugly head.
It's a significant hurdle, but not an insurmountable one.
Right.
There's a lot of research and development happening in the graphene space.
Okay.
And I'm optimistic that we'll see some major breakthroughs in the coming years.
I'm optimistic, too. If we can put a man on the moon, surely we can figure out how to mass produce high-quality graphene.
I agree.
Right.
And once we do, the potential applications for silicon-graphene batteries are pretty much limitless.
It really is like opening the door to a whole new world
It is.
of possibilities.
Bruh.
I feel like thanks to this deep dive and, Matt Farrell's insights,
Yeah.
I have a much better grasp on this. The science behind it, the challenges, and the incredible potential.
Absolutely. And hopefully our listener does too.
Right. We're all on this journey together,
Yeah.
trying to make sense of this stuff.
What a fascinating journey it is, though.
It is full of twists and turns.
Yeah.
And, groundbreaking discoveries.
And it's a constant reminder that there's always more to learn.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of learning, I think it's probably time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Yeah, I agree.
Before we get too carried away with our little futuristic daydreams.
Agreed. But before we go, I'd like to leave our listener with one final thought. So if this silicon-graphene technology, really takes off, what existing industries do you think are going to be, the most disrupted by it? And what, entirely new industries might emerge that we can't even imagine yet?
Wow, those are some big questions.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like you're asking me to gaze into a crystal ball.
Yeah.
And predict the future or something.
Well, maybe not predict, but speculate. Based on what we've learned about SOG batteries,
right?
What possibilities kind of spark your imagination?
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the most obvious ones are transportation and consumer electronics.
Right.
Those are already being transformed by battery technology. But I feel like, SOG could really, kick things into overdrive.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, electric vehicles could become, the norm.
Yeah.
Rather than the exception.
Right.
We might even see gas-powered cars become, a relic of the past.
Oh, man, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
And imagine the possibilities beyond cars like electric planes.
Yeah.
That can travel long distances without needing to refuel, heavy-duty trucks that run silently and efficiently.
Right.
Cargo ships that don't pollute the oceans. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, and speaking of possibilities, think about how these SOG batteries could, revolutionize portable devices.
Right.
Phones that never need charging.
Oh, my God.
Laptops that are as thin and light as a magazine.
Yeah.
But can still handle, the most demanding tasks.
It's like a world without wires.
Yeah.
Where everything's just wireless.
Right.
Powered by these super batteries, we can finally break free from the tyranny of outlets.
That's right.
Love it.
And don't forget about renewable energy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these SOG batteries could be, the key to making solar and wind power truly viable on a large scale.
Okay.
Imagine, entire communities that are completely off the grid.
Wow.
Powered by clean, renewable energy.
Yes.
It could, transform the way we live and interact with the environment.
That's a beautiful vision of the future.
It is.
You mentioned new industries emerging, though.
Yeah.
What kind of things are you thinking of?
Well, think about it. Lighter, more powerful batteries.
Yeah.
Open up a whole new realm of possibilities in fields like aerospace,
Okay.
robotics. We could see a surge in the development of drones, autonomous vehicles, even things like exoskeletons.
Wow.
For people with disabilities.
I mean, the future's only limited by our imagination at this point.
It is incredible to think about all the ways
Yeah.
this technology could, shape our world. It really feels like we're standing at the edge of a technological revolution.
Yeah, and that's what makes following these emerging technologies so fascinating.
It is.
We get to witness innovation in action,
Yeah.
See how human ingenuity is constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Well, I, for one, am very excited to see where this silicon-graphene journey takes us.
Me too.
Who knows what amazing inventions are waiting for us just around the corner.
That's the beauty of it. The future is full of possibilities.
It really is. And who knows what incredible breakthroughs are just over the horizon.
Right.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
But we'll definitely be keeping an eye on Nanograph and all the other companies pushing the boundaries of battery technology.
Absolutely. The future of energy is being written right now.
It is.
And it's a story we can't wait to see unfold. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
Until next time, keep those minds curious.
Yeah.
And those batteries charged.